What is passion? Ever any one of you was thinking about what passion is? Did you consider yourself a passionate developer, programmer? Do you? Anyone knows what passion is? Do you agree with the definition? I had a big problem with this definition. As a person, I think the only strong and barely controlled emotion I have in my life was to my wife, and still is. It's not past perfect. Let's continue. But if I look at what I was doing in my whole life, I never had a strong, barely controllable emotion about anything I was doing. I have a drive to do things, and I was happy to do it. I had a joy, I had excitement and satisfaction of doing things, but I never had a suffer enthusiasm to do something, to chase my dream. So I had a big issue understanding what passion is for me and what it could be, until last year when on one of the workshops that we organizing with Piotrek, the warsztaty, I was sitting on the side and looking, as always, at the attendees to see if they need to go to the toilet and do they need help, because if someone is presenting for the first time, they sometimes forgot about attendees at all. It's like 3 hours sitting on the workshop and no one is thinking about attendees. So I'm just looking at the guys and what they are doing, and I saw face of a man that completely changed how I look at the passion and what is passion for me. And in that particular moment, I had a retrospective of my whole life. I went back really far away, and I will tell you the story about it, and I will tell you what the warsztaty is during that story. But I will be telling you the story from the perspective of me doing the retrospective. So I don't remember what I was thinking, but back then when I was really in the moment. I know what I'm thinking now about that moment after the retrospective. So I need to come back, really back to my to my uni exam when I was already passed. I already passed exam to one of the uni, and I was on the exam on the second uni, and I was writing some math test, and I wasn't sure if this is a correct answer and the correct way to doing. So I look left and right on the men on the right and left and ask, "Do you think this is okay?" And what they did on the exam was like, "Sorry, dude, I will not tell you." And in that moment, I realized in my whole life that I don't want to be in this situation. I hate this kind of behavior. I don't want to be the school that promotes keeping the knowledge out of you. I want to be in the environment that sharing is what it's supposed to be. It should be free and available to everyone. And I think at that moment when they just turned my backs, I just gave up. I took my exam and I put it on the desk and I went up and I say, I don't want to be in this school. And for the whole my university, maybe this is good, this is not bad, I was giving everything for free. So if you've been with me on the uni and you ask for application for the exam, I will write it for free. If you wanted help on the exam, I will give you my answers. What you do with this is your problem, not mine, but here's the knowledge. Use it as you want. Maybe you will create something amazing. I know some people that I help on the university are right now the CTOs and CEO of the big organizations, so maybe this is helping, I don't know. But moving forward, I was in the need of learning Objective-C. So I've learned that I want to share, so I wanted to share. And I don't know, like 6 years ago when I was buying this computer for the project, sorry, of course I always, doesn't work on my machine, I was in need of learning Objective-C. And I was looking for the possibilities to learn Objective-C. I had a project to write in, and there was some friend called me and said, look, there's a free workshop on Saturday that you can go in and learn TDD, test-driven development in Objective-C. I say, okay, free workshop. free workshop, they are not really nice. But who knows? I decided to go, and I was amazed. First thing, this was Saturday. The whole room was fully packed by 40 people around. There were 4 presenters. We spent 8 hours coding, and I've learned a lot. And it was like, wow, this sort of things is for free. I've learned a lot, and in my retrospective is I want to do something exactly the same. I want to share this information. I would like it to be more available to everyone, because if this is something that I like to do, maybe people will enjoy the same way as I do, enjoying this. So I was, after the after the workshop, I was going back and forward my work and office, my home and office, and I was thinking, I was calling to Michał, I was calling to different friends and discussing this idea. And there was no clear answer to follow the path of workshop, like the free workshop, the idea that I'm starting to share the knowledge in my mind. But I decided to go, and I set a few rules that I think was really important during that time, that I wanted to do a free workshop for everyone who wants to attend it. It needs to be on the day that everyone can attend it, so it needs to be weekends, probably Saturdays. So the workshop should be free, should be on Saturday, and the presenters should have the idea, should be able to test the idea. So if you want to present and be a workshop presenter, then you can test your idea on that particular event. You can go and test it, but we are not paying you for this, and the attendees are not paying. The only currency there is a feedback. So attendees can give you a feedback, and there is a free sharing environment for everyone who wants to attend. That was my idea, and I didn't know if this will kick off. I had my plan was to deliver 4 workshops in the first year maximum, with 5 to 10 people attending it, and that's it. And so I decided to kick off the Warsztaty. As you can see, this, the idea of how it looks like. So it's not really stressful environment. Everyone can drink beer, coffee, whatever they like during that period. And so I said the thing that how I decided to copy exactly the same model that they had on the TDD Objective-C workshop. So I've get the TDD information. I've split the workshop into test-driven development into 4 different areas. I called 4 different people to ask if they want to help me creating the workshop, the idea, and test if this is working. So I called Piotrek, I called Marcin Malinowski, I called Marcin Sosnowski, who is not here, and I was the 4th person. And we decided to split it, the whole environment, whole workshop between ourselves. So everyone's got a 1.5 hour of content to deliver it. Everyone was happy to do it. And I was almost like, hooray, we've got the workshop. And then, of course, I like always, I'm forgetting about things, and I completely forgot about the room. So here comes the Piotrek, who saved the day. And 2 days, 3 weeks before the planning date of the workshop, he decided to share the room with us and organize it. So from that point, we start to organize the workshops together. But the point is, when we launched registration, I was really thinking about 5 to 10 people. We had, in 10 minutes, we had like 20 or 30 people sign up for the project, for the workshop. I think that the first waiting list was about 25 people. So we had 25 on the list, 25 on the waiting list. I said, okay, looking at the normal community groups, like 30% will drop off for sure. No. We had 27 people on our first workshop. That was beyond my imagination. I was shocked that so many people came, and they bring their own food. There was no food, so it was only free workshop. They bring own food. They gave a positive and good feedback, and feedback that we can use for the next workshop. And after that workshop, I was like, okay, this worked, but still it will be hard to organize it, I don't know, every month or something like this. But I started to get emails from people like, I would like to be on the workshop on the specific topic. And the second email was, I would like to do the workshop for you guys. I have a topic and I have the idea, an agenda. I can do it. Just organize it. And that little thing changed. I think in the first year we did 10 workshops, not 4. Right now we are around 60 workshops. That's 3 years in, all free. No one needs to pay. All have 90-95% turnover, so this drop-off is only 1 person usually from the list. All tickets are sold in 10 seconds. I think the record is less than a second. That basically you couldn't refresh the page, all were gone, and that people stayed. So they didn't say, I will not come. They stay and they came. We had people coming all around from Poland to our workshop, from Krakow to Warsaw, from Gdańsk, Łódź, Chorzów, from everywhere. And remember, this is my retrospective, and I was like, wow, this is happening all the time. I couldn't see it before. So in my retrospective, I've noticed these things. I've noticed this is taking so long. There's so many people are coming. We're selling so many tickets. I think the biggest waiting list was 130 people on the waiting list. When we have a workshop for 20 people and 130 is on the waiting list, it's quite amazing. I've got phone calls from people at Friday 11 p.m. saying, I've just got into the list, but I live in Krakow, so I will be late tomorrow for a Warsaw workshop. So they decide to go from Krakow to Warsaw to have been on that specific free workshop. And I was like, for me, now it's quite amazing and unbelievable behavior. I will never do it probably, but people are doing this. And back to the moment that I saw on the guy's face, I saw three things. I saw a joy he's here. I saw excitement, and he was doing like this because he solved the problem. Satisfaction because he solved the problem, and the spark in his eye that show excitement, that he wanted to be here. He came. I think from Gdańsk during that day. He was from Gdańsk, and I look at the whole room, and that was the amazing part of everything, that everyone had the same expression on the face. They were doing something amazing, and they were really happy of doing what they were doing. And these are just examples of some of the groups that we had and happiness. But I couldn't. You couldn't imagine the face. That's really hard to imagine if you are not in the present. And I wish I will have the chance in the future to see the same passion and amazement on the face. So during that time, I've changed the definition of the passion from myself, and because I didn't feel, and I still don't feel this urge and strong emotion, but I feel joy and satisfaction of doing and being in the place when something is happening. That's my passion. The pleasure to do or to be despite adversity. So it's weekend, I could spend this with my kids. Instead, I want to be there. That's not really an urge, but this is a thing, the pleasure that I want to do. And this is my definition of passion. And from that point of view, I think that what we're doing with the DevWarsztaty for the last 3 years, we deliver passion to everyone who is attending. And we're doing this and looking at the people who are working and learning and then using this knowledge is quite amazing. And I wish that everyone can see it and everyone can be it and feel it the same way as we. And if you feel you are not passionate about something, think again, because maybe your definition is different. Thank you.